Namaste and welcome to online yoga at the Wave. My name is Shawna Moore, and I'd like to guide you through a 60-minute practice that I've designed to be broken down into 15-minute bits that you can pause. So one of the themes today is hitting the pause button, which I welcome you to do. I'll give you a prompt for that. The intention there is that if we've worked through a sequence and something bubbles up that you would like to add into your practice, you can pause the video, take an extra twist, do your favorite pose, and then return to the next sequence. So we build from the ground up and then finish with whatever length of Shavasana you would like, and you can do that with a timer. So one of the things that we're all missing in this time is our connectivity. I want to start my practice with thankfulness for all my teachers and all my students, and to realize that through this practice, they're all here with me as you are with me now. So in the time that we mourn the loss of all our friends and hugging and drinking coffee together and being in a big yoga room together, I welcome you to find the ways that people have influenced you in your life, in your art, in your yoga practice. So let's begin. Sit tall on your mat. I have a little blanket under my hips. I can feel my sitting bones grounding into the prop, into the blanket. And as I find grounding, I start to cultivate the ease of breath. I just notice my breath. It's simple. As I ground through the pelvis, I can feel an elevation in the crown of my head. At the same time, I want to release my shoulders. And I'm going to release my eyelids. If you feel safe, close the eyes. Notice the quality of the breath. Notice the grounding and the lifting of both the posture and the breath, the yoking or union or yoga of the pose. On the inhalation, there's a brushing upward on the front of the body. And then as you exhale, the breath moves behind you and down, forming this soft loop or wave with each breath cycle. Inhale and exhale. Rise and fall. Wave comes in, wave goes out. Two more like this. When you're ready, gently open the eyes. You can look forward or have a soft gaze towards the floor in front of you. Let's start by taking the right hand, and I'm going to sit right on top of it, fanning my fingers, pressing the heel of the hand down. The head tilts away from the pinned arm, tilting the head to the left, pressing the heel of the right hand. You can take the gaze now, looking towards the hip. Stretch through the palm, the forearm, the elbow, the bicep. Drop the shoulder, and as you look forward, once again, stretch the side of the neck. Tilt the head back up, and let's go to the second side. Sitting on the hand, just behind the sitting bone, and then tilt the head away, fanning the fingers, pressing the heel of the hand, palm, forearm, elbow, drop the shoulder, stretch the neck, and then a soft rotation as you look down. And then gaze forward. And then release and shake out the hands. All right, we'll lie on our backs now. You can take your blanket to the side. You might want it for the kneeling postures. Slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you arrive, feel the spine unfurl. We'll take the right thigh up, hug into the hamstring here to begin. Feel the creasing of the right hip, the pressure on the right side of the buttock. And then walk the hands onto the shin if you're able, hugging the knee to the shoulder. And then softly slide the left heel away. Breathe deeply, feel the back body. Slide the left foot back up. Now take the hands again to the hamstring, interlace the fingers, and slowly lengthen the right side. This is my tight side. So what I'm aiming for here is an open sole of the foot. I'm pressing the hamstring into the hands and the hands into the hamstring. Release the hands, soften the leg. Second side. Take the back of the thigh. Hug it in. Walk the hands to the shin. Draw the knee up a bit more, and then slide the right leg out. Now we'll slide the right heel back, taking again behind the hamstring and extending the leg, sole of the foot lifting, heel pressing, hamstring into the basket of the hands, and the hands pulling the leg gently back. Release the leg, both feet down. The arms move out to the side. Start to gently rock the legs side to side. Knees go right. Look to the left. Pick up the knees. Look to the right. One more time. Knees up. Look left. Knees come up. Look to the right. We'll repeat this one last time and add on. Now feel the feet on the mat. This time the knees go to the right. Slide the fingernails to the left and lift the left hip up as you drop the left shoulder. There's an arch in the lower back and a bit of a hike in the left hip. So refining that pose on the second side, everything comes back to center. Knees left, look right. This time let the right hip lift, slide the right fingernails away, and then drop the right shoulder. Find that back arch with the hiking of the right hip. Going for a deeper stretch. And then back to center. Extend the legs, release the arms. Feel the form. Take it all in. Get grounded. Now walk the heels back to the buttock. Take the hands behind the head. And rather than thinking about doing a sit-up, think about curving the spine. The elbows come together. When you unfurl, think about an arch returning to the low back. And again, exhale, rounding the thoracic spine. Inhale, opening up the belly, arching the lumbar. One more like this. Rounding. And releasing. Taking some rotation now, moving to the right. Finding center. Moving to the left. Exhaling down. Adding the knee, increasing rotation. Right side. Working the right side of the belly. And left side. One more, each side. Warming up the spine and the core. Put everything down and let everything go. For 3, and 2, and 1. Draw the feet up. Roll over to the side. Lift up, and I'll meet you on hands and knees. Find your tabletop. Spread the fingers wide. Taking that same motion into cat and cow, rounding. Extending. Exhale. And inhale. Find your neutral spine. Take the right leg and send it behind you. Press the heel and open up the calf. For 3, and 2, and 1. Now, pick up the right foot, cross it over, and then turn and look towards your tail. I'm chasing my right heel. Stretching the right hip. Drawing navel to spine. Come back to center. Draw everything in. Second side, long through that back heel. Open up the calf. Keep spreading the fingers. Opening the sole of the foot. And then cross it over. Lengthen the left side body as you turn to gaze over the right shoulder towards the foot. Keep knocking the heel towards the gaze and hugging the inner thighs together. Good. Meet you in tabletop. We're going to add on from there. So again, extend the right leg. This time, snug the right knee behind the left. This is a two-part pose. It's Balasana with a variation on the legs. So start by crossing the knees, snugging them together, flexing the feet, and then slowly offering the forehead to the floor. This might be as far as you get. Or you can start to crawl your way back. Cow face pose. Maybe you can touch the nose to the front knee. Maybe you can come up to a sitting position where you get a strong stretch across the upper buttock and the side hip. Release the same way that you came in, watching the feet, gently unwinding. And when you're ready, second side, leg extends, knees crossed behind, snugging them together, flexing feet. Don't go directly into the full pose. Hit this midway point, hit the pause button, offer the forehead. Notice the stretch and the breath here. And then continue walking your way in. Noticing if you'd like to come up. Noticing the differences in the two sides. Feeling release in the hips. Think upper buttock, side hip, and breath. Releasing slowly now. Out you go. Taking a quick child's pose with knees together. Widen the knees. Making room for the belly as you creepy crawl the fingers forward, forehead down. And then taking some of this lateral motion into our child's pose as well. Walking the fingertips over to the right as you drape the torso over the right leg. Make the left hip heavy. Feel the stretch in the intercostals, the side body, and breathe. Notice how all the parts of your body are connected. How the hip can affect the shoulder. And 3, and 2, and 1. Come back to center. You can repeat that if you need to hit the pause button there. All right, so back to tabletop. Dig the toes under. Lift the knees into a hover. Here's a little core work. We're using it as our starting point for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Bring the chest back towards the thighs before the legs even straighten. Long arms. Spine is long. Maybe the heels start to work their way down, or maybe there's a soft pedaling here. Maybe there's some stepping and moving through the shoulder. You're halfway to Dandasana, to our staff or plank pose. Bring the knee up halfway and back. Halfway and back. Find downward facing dog. As much as you press into the hands and lengthen through the arms and press into the feet and lengthen through the legs, go up through the apex of the pose. Use the core. Hoist the sitting bones towards the sky. Slowly release. Take your child's pose. And we'll pause here before we get into the next part of the practice. I've designed a series of poses that are modifications on the traditional standing poses. So we'll build on these. Left foot steps forward. It's always good not to do the right foot forward every time. So here we are in a lunge. Pivot the back knee and use this back foot as a kickstand. Now you're coming up into a modified warrior pose. This is warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. When I see my students or people in classes, they're usually leaning way, way forward. That has to do with tightness in the hips and the spine. Down here on our knees, we're free and we're more supported. So come back to center. Reach more through the back hand than you do through the front hand. Draw the left knee a bit more to the left. And gently tip the left buttock underneath you as you lengthen through the tip of the tailbone. It's like an arrow pointed to the floor. If you know Virabhadrasana, maybe you can feel yourself in previous classes or in your own practice. And then we'll take this wisdom into the standing version. Side angle pose. Forearm down, reach up and over. If you're a beginner, this is your starting point. If you know these poses, practice these modifications to gain clarity, alignment, and again, that wisdom that comes from change. Take a big breath. Can you feel the side body release and the breath billow? Return to your warrior as a midway, and then taking peaceful warrior, that back leaning pose as you stretch out and over. Good, good. Up you go. Hands go down. Let's transition through downward facing dog. Take 5 deep breaths here, and I will meet you on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Stay in your pose if you can. Just want to make sure you can see me here. Finish your downward dog, And then get ready for the right side. The right foot comes up, long spine. Remember, we do that pivot. And then we come up into Vira 2, the warrior pose, with a modification on the knees. Test yourself. Where are you? Come back into the present moment. Some of us remember what our past was like a month ago when things were normal. Some of us want to rush into this being over. See if you can just be here now, right in the middle. And then moving slowly, like the change of seasons, into side angle. Variation on Baddha Konasana. My right knee is gently moving to the right side. I'm trying to tip my tight right buttock slightly underneath me. Stretching. Hit warrior on your way up, shoulders down, and then reverse it. Peaceful warrior, side stretch. We'll do it again. We're taking baby steps today. Up you go, drop the shoulders, back to your lunge, back to a quick child's pose. Remember the hover, turn under the toes. It's like a baby plank. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Pedal the feet. Again, taking that first step. Second step. You don't have to go anywhere. Hitting plank pose, Dandasana. Back down. Hovering, working strength in the belly and core, shoulder strength here and back. 2 options. Take a child's pose or hold your downward dog for 5 breaths total. I'm going to meet you on the side again so that you can see these poses. Moving from downward facing dog. Move the shoulders over the wrists and step forward. Here's the long lunge. Back heel down. Slowly rise into Virabhadrasana 2. Again, do that test. Find the middle ground. Warrior 2. Full pose. Release the forearm and take that arm long overhead. Baddha Konasana. Side angle pose. Returning up to warrior. Peaceful warrior here. Left knee draws to the left side as you gently roll the left buttock underneath you. Reach, reach, reach. Shoot for the middle in warrior. And then the hands go down. Pause in plank. Find downward dog. Rest in child's pose if you need to. When you're ready, make your way to the second side. I'm going to demonstrate this time with blocks so you can see a variation. From downward dog, right foot steps. Maybe your lunge is here. You can place the back heel down. Coming up into warrior pose. Ground the feet, lift the spine, find that place in the middle. Experiment stretching through the pinky fingers to open the back of the shoulder. Stretch through the thumb. Spread the wings. Bring the right knee back. Left buttock, right buttock tucks underneath. And then over we go. Side angle pose. Drop down as you lift up. Moving into warrior. Reaching back, peaceful warrior. Breathe into the right rib cage. Keep breathing. Gently unwind. Hands go down. Maybe you move off the blocks. Stepping back to plank. Stepping back to downward dog. Releasing into child's pose if you need it or if you want it. Last time through this sequence, I suggest a block. We're going to add one more thing, my favorite pose, because it's my class. Downward facing, left foot steps, Vira 2, side angle, peaceful warrior, Utthita Trikonasana, reaching out and over, take the block, hand to the waist, spin the elbow, reach up. Don't forget to breathe. Grounding the feet. Lifting the fingertips. Stretching the spine on the horizontal axis. Reach down. Take your lunge. Step back to plank. Meet me in dog. Or take your child's pose. I'm going to go to my second side. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Don't forget your block for triangle. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stepping forward, right side. Drop the heel. Virabhadrasana 2. Side angle. Reverse warrior. When you're ready, Utthita Trikonasana on the right side. Over you go. Try not to end up here with the rear end going back. Everything's stacking, over, tilting, all that work we've done with the hips. Take the block, reach up, hand can go to shin if you don't have a block or a book at home. For 3, and 2, and 1. Release into the lunge. Stepping back to plank. Let's move into a modification of upward dog. Don't turn the toes under. Dropping the hips, but lifting the thighs. Dropping the shoulders, lifting the heart. Pressing back into down dog. Returning to plank. And then lowering to the mat. You'll have your block up in front. Start by pressing the block between the hands and resting on the forehead for a moment. Take a breath for nothing. Find the grounding in the front of the body. Active through the legs, active through the arms. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Gently elevate the chest. We're doing mini cobras. We'll go up bit by bit. So what I'd like you not to do is this. Keep the chin tucked slightly and the gaze low as you lift the heart. Then we go down. A little bit higher. Legs working. Then we go down. Breathing in. Then we go down. Last time. Inhaling. Using the arms to support the spine. Lengthening the arms. Pressing back. Child's pose. Finding the release. And rolling up when you're ready. Great. All right, we're trapped inside these four walls. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to double fold my sticky mat and put it right here next to the wall. Crossing the legs, sitting in Sukhasana. Starting by making the turn to the right. I'm going to take my arm and place it on the wall, and I'm already a little too close. So moving away, taking the hand, grounding it into the wall, opening the left pectoralis, left hand to the right knee as I turn and spin, even turning those fingers so they face away from the front of the pose. Grounding, breathing. Now we'll take the gaze to the front of the room. Keep pressing into the wall. And when you're ready, second side. Slowly release. Start with a gentle turn. Make sure you're not trapped in your seat. There should be some ease there. Left hand to the wall. Right hand to the opposite knee. If you can, turn the fingers away. Press into the wall. I feel a release through the torso and the belly, and also a big stretch down the length of the arm and around my armpit. The gaze then comes to the front of the pose. For 3, press the wall. 2, keep twisting, keep sitting up tall and breathing. And 1. All right, shake out the hands, roll the wrists, and we'll take this into a second pose, into a Marichyasana variation. So the bottom leg crosses over. See if you can get the top leg over to the top foot. So left leg on top, turning to the left. Maybe it's just a soft hook with the forearm to start. Maybe there's just a slight connection with the wall, so you can mark yourself in time and space. See if you can get that arm and hand to really connect with the wall, so you give yourself a boost and some feedback here. Now, if you can, hook the outside and draw the left knee towards midline. As you spin, you can walk the fingers behind you and make the turn. Now, all the while, pressing into the wall, turning and gazing to the front of the pose, working in opposition. running the breath through the pose. Inhale, concentrate on sitting tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper. One more time. And gently release. Extend the legs in front. Massage the knees. Then we'll go to second side. Left leg on top. Make the turn. Start with the wrapping of the forearm. Bring the hand behind. Maybe you can hook the elbow this time and start to walk the fingers behind you to open up the chest, the armpit, the elbow. Make it an exciting pose, not a painful pose. And then start and turn as the right side, left side of the rib cage moves away. Fix the gaze to the front of the pose and stretch and breathe. Inhaling, long spine. Exhaling, gently turn a little deeper. One more time. Soften and release. Extend the legs. Massage the knees. Good. All right. There's always a little tightness in the knees. Once you reach a certain age, you don't want sharp pain. From here, Baddha Konasana. The heels come in. Make sure the heels are even. I like to make that basket under my feet. And then as I press the heels, the knees go down. As I press the heels, I lift my sternum and I bloom the heart as I gently tuck the chin to engage Jalandhara Bandha. Drop the knees. Take a deep breath. Gently release, draw the knees up, and then we'll slide them up. Baddha Konasana, sitting nice and tall. Don't go too far today. Grounding through the sitting bones, stretching the inner thighs. Maybe you've been walking a lot out of necessity, keeping the feet and inner thighs stretched and happy with all that side walking we've been doing, all by ourselves or with a friend 6 feet behind. Maybe you can get a little deeper, but don't compromise by slumping. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll up. This gets us to our last finishing sequence. If you need to do more inner thigh stretching, now's the time. Otherwise, join me on your back. We'll move through bridge pose, primarily because for those of us who love to have body work done, I am missing my massages, but this is a great way to get into the trapezius. A little bit of self-massage. So we'll roll down. Make sure the back is free and you feel okay here. Draw one heel at a time up towards the hips. Hands to the side. I'm going to grip the edges of my sticky mat to begin. Slowly elevate the hips. Walk the elbows underneath you and fix the triceps to the mat. Now from here, we get into the massage part. Most people hug their chins in too tightly here. You can feel my voice change. Look up and slightly back. And as you do so, free the throat, press into the feet, and traction the trapezius down towards the waist. It's as if you're creating space between the back of the skull, the back of the neck, and the top of the shoulders. So the legs are active here as you do this tractioning. Don't turn your head. Slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Draw the right knee up. And then draw the left knee up. Grab your block or repeat that same pose. Otherwise, we'll go into the supported version. Have your block at the ready. Gently feel your heels. Knees are closer than wide, so knees right over the heels. Grab the edges of the sticky mat. Slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Find the block and place it right underneath the sacrum. Again, don't let the chin drop. Look up, eyes slightly back, open the throat. Press the feet so that the shoulders drop away from the ears. Take 3 breaths here, opening up the channel of the front hips and the belly. Now from here, bring one knee at a time up and straighten the legs. Here's our leg up against the wall pose, Viparita Karani, which would be a great practice right now as we start to finish the practice. Think of the energy momentarily draining out of the legs, moving into the lymphatic system and into the organs to support health, immunity, energy. You can stay here for up to 10 minutes. 5 might be good, or you can practice with your legs on the wall and no block. Draw the knees in, touch down, gently lift up the block, and slowly roll down. We have a final pose, a twist. Start by rocking side to side with the knees, just as we began. It's like a mini lunge on your back, a supine, mobile lunge. Internal, external rotation for the hips. So important to free the legs and the low spine. Good. Now bring the knees up, hug just underneath the kneecap. And I'd like you to rock to the right side and then turn to the left. So here's a soft twist. But we're going to add on. If you have a scarf or a strap, you can go the extra mile or just stay where you are. Soft twist, but you can add then by strapping up the top leg. Lift it slightly off the ground so that the left shoulder drops. And then turn, gaze into the palm, right knee bent, left leg stretching. Keep breathing. Just a variation on a twist. Release with the strap, knees together, slowly roll to the second side. You'll have an easier time seeing here. So start the twist here. Maybe as far as you go is just knees together, right? It's a beautiful, soft twist here. If you want to try this variation, strap up the top foot, and don't make the mistake of letting that leg drop all the way down. Elevate the leg, turn and twist so that the right shoulder drops, and then gaze into the palm. Feel the stretch in the hip. Feel the spreading of the wings. Breathe into the belly. See if you can move the breath into all parts of the pose. Gently unwind, gathering up the knees, rolling onto the back, placing the feet down, going into that gentle rocking. Left, right, internal, external. Start to release the legs. And from here, just let the toes go in and out, in and out. It's like being a fidgety kid. But what we're doing here is freeing the femur bones, giving them a soft rotation, and letting the sacrum drop. Make the buttocks soft. So whether you're going to stay here for 5 minutes or 10, we'll end together. Notice the feet now coming to a still point. Notice the softness of the calves, the heaviness of the legs. Drop the buttocks, get grounded into the pad, into the prop, into the mat, into the earth. Shoulders release, the arms are long, the hands heavy. Back of the head resting softly. Gravity takes over. The eyes drop in slightly. Put the tongue in Shavasana at the base of the mouth. It's soft, resting, heart resting. Belly soft with breath. Give yourself this time to soak in the practice. In many traditions, this next 10 minutes is the most important part. We've shaken up the body. We've infused energy, prana, into our joints, like shaking sand in a jar. And now we settle, having gone through the process, but at the same time letting it all go. I look forward to the next time we practice together, hopefully in person, at the Wave. Be healthy. Thanks for coming, and namaste.